This is the last rotation for the senior category, the last hope for drivers at all here today as the field gets sent out for groups D and E, their last race of the day. They make their way out onto the circuit. Let's take you through that full starting lineup. Jindra Peschel and Timo Ramakas on row number 1. Lev Krutilov and Aston Sharp go from row 2. Armin Kari Osman and Marco Gas round out row number 3. Jesse Phillips and Toby Gale go from row number 4. They'll have Sky Parker and Mariana Lopez on row number 5. Jol Pokola and Kare Fairhand go from row 6. Paul Andriotis and Simon Bulbarella go from row 7. With Peter Stiller and Inge Rostad on row number 8. Jaguar de Troja and Luke Corner round out the first half of the field on row number 9.
The remaining drivers in your grid include Efim Durinov and Zhao Zhijun on row number 10. Row number 11 is Jason Bralick with Clovis Nugarade, and then from 12 we have Maria Neto with Aaron Garcia. 13 is Olin Gali with Vanessa Schilkenator. Then from row number 14 it looks like Austin Gale alongside San Yibi. 15 Stylianos Kolovos with David Trefilov, who is missing, we will mention. And from 16 it's Lamberto Ferrari with Christian Moziman. 17 Makar Sevelev and Matis Umer rounds out your grid.
Drama for Lamberto Ferrari. He's out of this race before it started. His kart has ground to a halt. The Italian for the IPK factory team is out and he's off the track at the exit of turn number 6. And unfortunately his kart just ground to a halt there. He goes no further in his last chance to get him up into that order. And that might have taken Lamberto Ferrari out of contention going into tomorrow. He qualified at the back. He's had some tough races over the course. He's had some good results as well, but I don't think they've been enough. There he is. Well, he's happy about it.
On his face.
He's got a thumbs up, but that might be his chance of getting into tomorrow's Super Eats and finals done and dusted. But yes, at least he has a smile on his face nonetheless. Right then, here we go. Front of the grid, ready to go racing. Timo Ramakas, fresh set of tyres in second place. Peschel, who had that dramatic retirement earlier on today on the front row. Lights are not out. We're going round again. Look good at the front. I don't think the back was in order and maybe just that little bit quick off the line.
Yeah, we've had a number of false starts then this afternoon. Very similar to yesterday. Actually, I'd say yesterday we started the morning, was fine. Then the afternoon, a lot of false starts. Similar stuff then today as you're pointing out the commentary box window, Anthony.
Yeah, I think it's because the sun's come out from behind a cloud, Nicole.
Thank you.
You knew it was going to happen, didn't you? You lined me up for it as well. Right, but they go round again. They get themselves sorted out for another attempt at a rolling start here. Again, we've said it time in and time out. It's not easy to do one of these, despite that, you know, your keyboard warriors at home or anyone sitting down on the sofa that could say, oh, I could do that from home. Trust me, it's a lot harder to do it than it looks.
Absolutely. You know, I've done this a number of times, not specifically in this championship, but with 34 karts on the grid, there's 34 people to affect this start, 34 people for Nigel Edwards to be looking at. So,
yeah, exactly.
You know, there's a lot that goes on, and Pasquale Lupoli, their deputy race director, who is assisting Nigel, he's also watching on every single competitor in this field to make sure that those starts are absolutely spot on, so we can go racing into turn number 1. For now then, hopefully this time round we'll get to go racing, led by Jindra Peschel and Timo Ramakas on your front row. Indeed.
Round that final corner. You can understand them wanting to get on the power sooner rather than later. It's an uphill struggle here at Kristianstad as the smoke clears. Lights go out. We're racing down towards turn number 1. Good start for the inside row. Ramakas there on the outside will have to try and cut in. And I think he cuts in and around third place. He does, yes, down the inside. Goes Lev Krutilov. Remember, Krutilov had a win earlier on. Can he get another one right here, right now? Well, he goes defensive in towards turn number 6, but he is not able to get the move done on Peschel, who holds on to the lead for the time being. Down the inside, the rest of the field, some of the wards making a good move. Sky Parker all on her own. You can see there that looks like Toby Gale's made a good run. So is Aston Sharp. They're all fighting through as much as they can, but crucially at the front, it is Peschel who leads the way. Krutilov there in third, Ramakas in third, trying to close in. make it second, down the inside. Ramicus is through.
Good stuff then by Timo through turn number 14. But watch Lev Krutulov, because he's an aggressive driver within this field. He gets his elbows out when he knows he needs to. And he said in the driver interview earlier on this weekend, he thinks drivers and competitors around him, teams included, should be watching out for him this weekend. The Energy driver that finished P6 in the world in the junior competition last year. In for a good result, as is Thibaut Ramicus, who now goes down the inside at turn number 7 on your previous race leader of Jindřich Peschel. So Peschel and Ramicus have traded places. Krutulov is being backed into Amin Kara Osman, who needs some good results after a little bit of bad luck, a spot of bother earlier on in this weekend. Aston Sharp, still consistently within this fight, is now down the inside at turn number 14, goes Lev Krutulov on Peschel. That's potentially going to open up the door for Amin as well. No, it doesn't. Slots back into P4, allows Peschel to stay in front of him for the time being, closes in quite well through curbs 3 and 4. And now down the inside at turn number 5. That opens up the gap for Aston Sharp, who also gets past the Tony kart.
Yeah, it's a nice move that down the hill and towards turn 4. It's just a case of just releasing that brake a little earlier and just slotting that kart down the inside. Nicely done by Amin Kara Osman, albeit it doesn't last very long. Aston Sharp now gets through and up into 3rd place. Now Peschel wanting to fight back. Has already seen that first overtake. Can we get another one down in towards turn 14? Looking to the inside, not close enough. Sticks on that rear bumper. This is all very interesting at this point. Not many drivers deploying fresh tyres. There's Joe Turney on your screen. He's there watching this race. He'll believe he's in the next race. Yes, he is, starting from the 3rd row of the grid. But back to this race, because it's all kicking off still. Ramicus broken away nice at the front. Krutulov not going to be able to catch up. Ramicus pushing away those fresh tyres. There's no chance anyone could catch up to Ramicus unless disaster strikes. More lunges down the inside. There is Toby Gale. That move on Peschel puts Gale up into 5th place now.
Busy stuff then for this mid-pack section, which includes Jesse Phillips trying to fight the way past drivers like Marco Gas. We've got Bora Firhand in this and Peter Stiller as well. Intermediate classification for the time being. Of course, we've got more senior heats left to go. Lev Krutulov leads the way with 202 points ahead of Thibaut Ramicus. Despite Ramicus actually being in front of Lev on the road, Lev still leads things points-wise as it stands. Sky Parker now under pressure on the entrance to turns 4 and 5. Goes defensive onto the white line to try and keep this pack of karts behind her, which includes Mariano Lopez and Joel Pokler as well. Settled stuff. But now that over-defensive driving by the rich Mill Young talent of Sky Parker, who is with Birrell for 2025, has lost her that position to the Fusion now. Sky has had some good pace this weekend, but a DNF, a penalty, might throw her off the tracks as we try and qualify drivers into those superheats later on. For now, though, Thibaut Ramicus 9/10 clear of the Energy, who's now just heading down that 185-metre straight, readjusting the carb there, trying to get the most out of that engine.
Indeed, because of course these ones, I know they've been experimenting with where the rev limiter really comes into play. Of course, it comes in quite early on in these karts. They don't have a high top end. It's all about the acceleration of the OK karts, the original kart of what it's called. As looking to the inside there, that was a late lunge from Marco Gas. I didn't impress of an owl there, sorry. But there was Joel Pokler. He does get that move completed. This time, getting the move done on Simon Barbarella as he goes down to 9th place.
Yeah, of course, you're just going into a bit of like the technical bit of the karts as well. Let's not forget that uphill run out of where these drivers are exiting right now. Turn number 14, that's going to add more stress onto the engine. So they're going to essentially hit the limiter even earlier, and then they're completely flat through turn number 1.
Little lift and brake here.
Yeah, loads of stress still though through 2 and 3. I would say this is a track where there's a lot of stress and pressure on the engines, particularly. I think that's maybe why we've seen actually a couple of Caesars this weekend, drivers just not finding that balance.
Yeah, quite a few more than a couple, though. We've seen them all the way throughout the field here. It really is a stress on the karts. Big changes here. Sky Parker under problems here. Marco Gas get a fair hand inside that battle. Peter Stiller who we saw make great runs earlier on, is currently rocking around in 13th place. Not had the full charge through the field than what I think he'd like at this stage. Back to the front, that is that Kelefahan Sky Parker battle. Peter Stiller just behind it as they head on to the start-finish straight here. Are we going to see a pull out of the slipstream here from either one of these drivers? The answer to that is no. They stay line astern and continue their fight towards the likes of Simon Bulbarella and Marco Gast, who sit just a little further up the road. Back here, though, with the front runners, this is Toby Gale, now there in 3rd place. Down the inside, Armin Kari Osman back on sharp pushes through and up into 4th place. And this is a much better, stronger start for Armin Kari Osman here. Had a really tough start to the weekend, did Osman, and to today as well. These results here, getting into 3rd, maybe even 4th, will really help them out, as now we're seeing moves from Mariana Lopez here down the inside of Indra Peschel. Steps up into P6.
Peschel then has remained inside the sharp end of the field throughout this weekend. He's been caught out a couple of times and has just fallen back into the pack slightly within this one. 6 places overall lost for the Tony kart. Down the inside then, moves going on. That's, I think, Sky Parker at the front of this pack, but Jesse Phillips getting past Jagrat de Troija there in the Kart Republic. De Troija then looking like he's going to fall into the clutches of Paul Androtis, who gets just bumped from behind by Maria Neto, sat in that parallel. Maria then previously part of the World Championship winning CRG camp, but now she's over with the European Championship winning camp of Paralin. Maybe not the weekend she would have wanted so far, but still another driver in this one trying to pick off some positions. Dying stages of this one and settle down at the front end of the order. Toby Gale is still within this one, driver that's on a good charge, and driver that's looking actually quicker than the 2 ahead of him of Ramakas and Kritelov. This is a race replay then, so that's Androtis going into the back of De Troija. That then backs him into Neto. It's just a domino effect by those 3 drivers.
Indeed. Not a comfortable domino effect as well either, because you first get that little jolt forward and then a jolt backwards. That's the number 90 machine that we saw retire. Oh, that's Sky Parker's kart. She was having a really good run earlier on. Great qualifying. Now her kart broken at the side of the circuit. My goodness, it goes from bad to worse for young Sky, who is trying a level hardest here this weekend in the World Championships. Hopefully she has done enough, but that's her last race of the day. That might take her out of contention for tomorrow's races.
Well, after DNFs yesterday, I wouldn't predict that it's going to be enough for Sky. Shame to say that, but racing is harsh. It can be savage for these drivers. For the time being, fastest driver out there on the track, Peter Stiller, who we saw made up a number of positions, is the quickest driver out there. He's currently sat in P11 as we've got another retirement out there on the track. The CRG this time, that's out of the race for Clovis Nougarade, will not finish this one.
Yeah, that is a tough one there for Clovis Nougarade. The 66 tumbling down the order, and so is Inge Rustad as well in the 96, also going off at the same time, but I don't think in the same place. But they've both tumbled to the back of the grid. Here, though, we've not spoke about him much as we're on lap 12. Timo Ramakas in the lead, and, well, seemingly very comfortable here. Lev Krutulov, though, at this moment, in 2nd place, has done enough to put him to the lead of the intermediate classification by a grand total of 1 point ahead of Timo Ramakas. However, their lead will not remain, because in the next races, you'll see Anagnosiadis, Daniel Kelleher, Zach Drummond, they're on 194, 191, and 185. 50 points will change all of that. Aston Sharp to the inside, looking on this final lap, tries to get a nose down the inside of Austin Gale. But right now, it is all a case of seeing what happens here. But let's see at the end of this race. Timo, oh, there's a rabbit, or it's a hare on the circuit. My goodness, it's going faster than some of the drivers, but brilliant stuff there. Great work from the camera crew there, actually, to spot that, because I thought it was a wheel that rolled off a cart for a moment there. No, it was a rabbit. Right then. Eyes on this one, though. But let's see, Ramakas heading through. Krutelov from Armin Kalia Osman, Lopez from Gale, all going through, but it's Thibaut Ramakas who leads the way. He is second in the points. He won't go any higher than P2. He crosses the line. He wins his last race of the day ahead of Lev Krutelov, Armin Kalia Osman from Mariana Lopez, Toby Gale from Aston Sharp, Yindra Peschel from Joel Poccola, Marco Gas from Peter Stiller, Simon Bulbarella from Kadir Fairhand, Jesse Phillips rounds out the top 13 of the field. But Makar Savalov is your biggest mover in that one, 12 places gaining that one to finish in P21 after starting 33rd on track. Thibaut Ramakas, though, job well done. And best he can make of that one is a P2 overall in the intermediate classification. Lev Krutelov, who finishes second, secures the lead of the intermediate classification with 202 points. However, they will not stay there with Anna Ignatiadis, Daniel Keller and Zach Drummond being so close with their last race to go as well. There's your full results. Top 13 we've gone over. 14th is Jason Bralic, Maria Neto from Austin Gale, Efrem Duranov and Paul Andriotis who round out the top 18. 19th place downwards, we'll see Jagrat Tatroja, Olin Gali from Makar Savalev, Vanessa Shilkaneta from Zhao Zijun, and then it is Stilianos Kolovos from Aaron Garcia, Sonia B from Luke Cornder, Matis Almer, Inya Rustad, Christian Mosiman,